Welcome to the Misquamicut Beach Podcast, a podcast spotlighting the businesses, newsmakers, events, and memories of Rhode Island's historic Misquamicut Beach.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Misquamicut Beach Podcast. I am, once again, Ben Barber, the producer of the show, one of the producers of the show. And here with me today is the president of the Misquamicut Business Association and the owner of the Windjammer and the Atlantic Beach parking lot. Did I get that right?
Well, it's Atlantic Beach Park.
Atlantic
We're more
Beach
than
Park.
just a parking lot.
I'm sorry.
We're a little bigger than that. Come on, Ben. Give me
I'm
a little
so
more credit
sorry.
than that.
Charles Trefes, thank you for joining me today, Charles.
No worries. Happy to be here.
So how long have you been the president of the MBA?
I think we're coming up on, it's either 4 or 5 years this year.
Oh, wow.
So I've had quite a run so far.
And were you any positions before that?
I was vice president for 1 year before I got roped into being president, and here I am.
Do you like it?
Yeah, actually I do. Otherwise I would have given it up by now if I didn't. You know, being able to work with the MBA has been, it's been a really cool thing. You know, we've grown a lot in the time that I've been there, and seeing what we've done and what we're doing and where we're moving has been really pretty exciting.
That's awesome. The last 5 years have been kind of huge for the MBA. You know, the festivals have grown exponentially, and the revival of the drive-in has been happening, and just cleaning up the beach in general and stuff. So you were 5 years. It's 2018. You're coming up on 5 years. So did you take over just after Sandy?
It was a little bit after that.
Yeah.
George was there through that. George Tattersall. And then I took over after he did. So he did a really good job of getting the ball rolling, and him and Kaz did a whole lot of work at that period of time and getting through the hurricane and help rebuilding Misquamicut in that sense. I picked up right after George did, and kind of took off, and just, we're doing the best we can to keep the ball rolling from here.
That's awesome. Well, I personally, as somebody who enjoys Misquamicut Beach, I think that you're doing a fantastic job with that. And the Windjammer. So how long has that been in your family for years? Is it? I don't really know.
Yeah, no. Atlantic Beach Park was started in 1921 by my grandfather, and he built it up, and it was the end of the Norwich Westerly trolley line, and he picked up the end of the line, so everybody got dropped off right there. Smart move on his part.
Oh yeah.
My father, my uncle took over after he passed away. My grandmother was still involved up until she passed in her 90s. And then they kept it up and going. My father, after he passed, I took over his share. I worked with my uncle as partners for a few years, and we've now split the company, and I've taken over, and this will be the start of my second full year owning it myself.
So you must have a lot of memories of the whole of everything since you were a little kid. Then
I grew up down there.
Yeah,
I've been on that beach since I was a little kid. I mean, we moved to, I live 1.5 miles away from my work, so my commute is like nothing every day.
Yeah.
So for me, being able to make that transition was incredible. But when I was a kid, we didn't live at the house. We lived at the park. So I grew up literally living on the beach in Misquamicut all summer long.
That's crazy. I don't think that I went. I live closer now, but I grew up probably 20 minutes from here. And I don't think that I had gone to Misquamicut Beach until I was like a senior in high school.
Did you grow up north of here or south of here?
North.
That's why you didn't go to Misquamicut.
Richmond.
Right, that's why you didn't go to Misquamicut.
Yeah. We never, my parents didn't take me to do anything, honestly. I never went to see a movie or, we didn't do anything. But I don't think that I ever went to the beach. So I can't even imagine what growing up with the beach as your front yard.
You grew up with a lot of sand in your sheets. Because as a kid, man, I mean, you're running back and forth, dude. You're always sleeping in sand. For me, what it was, I mean, it was a really cool experience, and one that, I think a lot of people should have, and most people obviously never will. Everybody travels to get to the beach, but when you wake up with it on your doorstep every day, it's a great thing. The only problem with it is, and it seems to turn into, is you kind of start taking these things for granted. we walk out. My office is at the beach. I live at the beach. We work at the beach. The whole MBA, this is what we do. So sometimes you really take it for granted. You don't just walk out and enjoy that view or enjoy that sunset. I think if you ask most of us, because of the amount that we work and the amount of things that we do down there and the struggles that we have and how long we push through the season that we have, we don't really enjoy it all that much. It's wintertime and then we go to somebody else's beach.
Yeah.
We just don't really get to enjoy, as fully as we probably should, our own area. And that's a shame. It really is, because we have one heck of an area.
So what is your favorite time for Misquamicut? Like, there's the winter where
I hate the winter.
Where Caswell has said you're mostly working on planning the summer and the whole season. So and the winter's not fun anywhere near a beach.
Nope.
Because it's a constant reminder of hoping for wishing it wasn't this time of the year, because of how great the rest of the year is. But what is your favorite? Is it the spring, the fall, the festivals, when all of the tourists come? Like, what is your favorite part of the beach now? What is your favorite time of year now?
My favorite time is really still the summer. It's when we're flat out and we're busy and everybody's, Misquamicut is just popping in general. When we've got all those people in Misquamicut and everybody's down there enjoying themselves and they're there and they're seeing the beach, a lot of the people coming down, like I said earlier, it's not something that they get to experience every day. So watching them enjoy that and being able to see that and see what we're doing is a great reward. So that busiest part of the summer is one of the best times. But, fall's a little sad because you're starting to see it go. Spring, you got that buildup.
Yeah.
And for me, you get that buildup down there and everything's starting to get exciting and you're starting to ramp up and then you get that first busy weekend and, all heck breaks loose and you weren't ready for it.
Yeah.
You sit there and you try like hell to make sure that you're ready for it and you're just not.
And then you just kind of hold on all the way until fall.
Right. And then you grab a handful, man, you just hang on. And then by the time you get everybody set and you get everything running and you get in a groove, it's Labor Day.
Yeah.
And then everything's winding down.
So I would think growing up here, and your family owning the park for so long, that you probably know, like you're in a fantastic position to be the president of the MBA, because you probably have known most of these business owners for most of your life. Well, that brings me to a question. Do you think that are there a majority of businesses who are owned by people who have owned them for years in Misquamicut, or is there a lot of turnover or new people coming in?
We seem to have a pretty
area?
good. We seem to have a pretty good retention on the amount of people and the length of businesses down there. There are always going to be those that come and go. We've got a pretty good retention with guys and just people down there that have been there for quite a while. I'm third generation. The Clucci's, that family has been there with the Andrea as long as I can remember. Patty's hasn't changed hands in quite a long time. Those guys have been there. I'm going to misquote this. I know I am, and I know I'm going to get in trouble for it. But they've been there like 15, 20 years now, whatever it is. They got a long run.
Send your hate mail to Charles Trefes, care of the MBA.
Care of the MBA. Just tag it. We love Caswell. He'll be fine.
Actually, send the hate mail to Caswell Cook.
Yes.
Just
find Caswell Cook's email.
He's fine.
Send any hate mail to him.
There you go.
Yep. And if you hate this and hate what I'm saying, my name is George.
Oh man.
But we've got a good group of people that have been down there for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I think that with them, we have a bright future.
So you've probably known. I mean, you've known a lot of these people since you were a kid.
Yeah. Like I walk in the Shorecrest Country Store, and I mean, it's these people I've known for my entire life.
Right.
I used to ride my bike there when I was a kid. And, now I'm driving in, so it's the same thing. I mean, I still walk in there, a few times a week or whatever it is, and you see these same people. Norm down at Sam's and Clucci, like I said, and the guys at Patty's, and Tim. I mean, these guys. Tim's actually a newcomer.
Yeah.
With two fish. They're the new kids on the block at don't even know how many years they've been there now. 10 years, something.
Yeah. Sam's is a gem that I recently personally discovered like 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, I just.
You need to get out more often.
I really
dude.
do. I really do.
You really do.
See, that's what I told Caswell. The fun thing about him forcing me to be the host of this show is that I get to learn new things every episode because I'm such a novice to this area. Again, and I shouldn't be, but yeah, no, that's got to be comforting also to, if I'm a business owner in Misquamicut and I'm a member of the MBA, I'm excited to have somebody that I know, that I've known since he was a little kid, who I know has the best intentions for everybody and for the area and for the business association. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I would be stoked if somebody that I knew that well was in charge.
So there's a fine line, I think, with a lot of us down there, and it's a little term that I end up kind of using a NASCAR term for it. It's coopetition. We try, with the MBA, we're all cooperating. We realize that there is a bigger focus, and I believe most of them, most of the businesses in Misquamicut, adhere to it and believe in it. We can do more together than we can do apart, but yet we're still all cooperating. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're all still in competition with each other.
You all want to have a great year. You just
Right.
want to have the best.
But I want everybody else to have a good year too.
Absolutely.
As much as I want to win, because that's my nature. I want to have the best year that I can possibly have. And I want to do the best that I can for my guests and my people and, the 100 people that we have on staff. I want them to be as successful as possible.
And the more people that are coming, in theory at least, the more people that are coming to the Windjammer, the more people would be going, oh, hey, what are those water slides about?
It's better for everybody.
Absolutely.
We need more hotels in Misquamicut. Why? So I'm really happy to see, Maria's putting a hotel up and the Blowns doing that with their family. That's great. We need more, we need more hotels. We need length of stay. Day tripping is a wonderful thing, but if we can get people to come down for 2-3 days at a time, that's a win for everybody in Misquamicut because now everybody's splitting that business up. They're not just going to go one place every day. They will venture out. When you come down for that one-day trip, you're going to pick your spot.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their favorite spot to be. Mm-hmm. And that's the way it is. And they pick them for their own reasons.
Yeah, but if you have that 2 or 3 day time frame, then there's tons of area to explore.
Oh, yeah.
And
we're more than a parking lot.
Yeah.
We really are. I
Yeah.
mean, and not just my place, but in general, Misquamicut, it's not just a parking lot. And I know that's such a huge misconception. I know Caswell spoke about it, but it's something that we've battled with the MBA. And even people think that the MBA is just that parking lot. That's a state parking lot. That's all it is. We've got all these other businesses, all these other parking lots, all these other areas down there that need to be explored. I get people that come down my end, and they're like, oh, I've been coming to Misquamicut for 20 years, and I never knew this existed. Really? We've been here almost 100 years now. If you can it's trying to pull those people, for us, trying to pull them past the State Beach parking lot.
Yeah.
For the other end of the beach, is trying to get them to turn right. So, so many people just have that conception of Misquamicut as a parking lot. And people pull into my own place and go, well, when does Misquamicut open?
Yeah.
You sit there looking around going, we're open. We're not just that lot.
So as I said, I never really came down much to the beach until high school, and to the main state beach. So all I really knew was the parking lot, and then Patty's because it's right there, mm-hmm. and then a little bit of the area with the carousel and the rides and everything. This is, I'm just explaining my mind coming, and then in my 20s, I was like, oh, the Windjammer, hey, this exists? This is cool. And the Andrea, going out and eating and drinking and stuff and being right on the beach, right on the water, with the back porches and everything. This place is gorgeous and ridiculous and but I never took the time to explore it before that. So I that would be great if there was a if there were more hotels and more opportunity for people to stay for a couple days. And also, Caswell talked a lot about how most of your tourists that are coming in the summer are coming from sort of far away.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people from Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York.
That's where our base comes from.
So those people would love to stay more than a day if they had the opportunity to.
I think they would.
But there's nowhere. Westerly in general doesn't have a hotel. Like really,
Not really, no.
no, not like they have places where you can stay. But I would assume that the closest thing to a big hotel would be La Quinta in Connecticut, right?
Yeah, for like a national brand.
Yeah.
There are a lot of local mom pa type places. And there's a few on the beach. So Pleasant View's been on the beach for years. They're doing a great job. Venice, they do a good job over there with the Weekapaug Inn. So there are a few. Breezeway, don't want to forget them. But not trying to plug or not plug anybody because I'm going to get myself in trouble. So send that hate mail to Caswell again.
And if you
if
want to know, check out Misquamicut.org.
Yeah.
For a full list of
there is a full
places
list on our site. So getting back to that, you're right. We just need more hotels. We need more rooms so that people have places to stay. These people are coming out of Connecticut. They are coming out of New York. I would think that they'd like to be here for more than just that one day. And it's not even so much, it can be done on the local brand side. We don't need a Hilton. We don't need a Marriott. We do have some nice hotels. There's a couple, Watch Hill. I mean, you got the Ocean House down there. You got Weekapaug Inn. We've got the high end, and we've got the mid range. So, we're pretty well covered. We just need some more beds.
Yeah. All right. When I think Windjammer, I think music.
Yeah, we have a lot of that.
Has it always been like that?
In recent memory, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a roller skating rink at one point in time.
Oh,
I don't know if you remember that.
I do not.
But through a long time up into the from way back when through the 70s into the 80s with disco and Caswell's age that he loves so much with disco, with all of that, and then after we had all of that aspect of it, then it kind of started to switch over to a bar, and we started getting into some bigger bands and doing some other things. So we've been known, for a while now as a really good music venue in Misquamicut.
What's the biggest act that you can remember coming through?
There's been some big ones way back.
Yeah.
Meatloaf was there way back. Stevie B, Steppenwolf, Two Life Crew. That was an interesting show. Huey Lewis and the News. So at one point in time, there was some big acts that were going through. The room was set up differently at that point in time to be able to accommodate a larger act like that.
Right.
Now it's we have our focus on local acts that everybody likes,
which is awesome. And I'm a big fan of local acts. So I also heard that there was wrestling at one point at the Windjammer, which is something that everybody brings up. I have to say, I produced a couple wrestling shows in the town for the festivals and some at the Armory. And mainly because of Chris DiPaolo, the owner of WBLQ, I have gotten this stigma now as being the wrestling guy. So everybody comes up to me and goes, "Hey, you know that they used to do wrestling shows down at the Windjammer?"
They did.
And
there was a couple of them.
Everyone talks to me about this, and I go, "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not doing that. I did that. I produced a couple of shows because I had some friends that were."
Well, maybe later that's something we can discuss.
But
maybe bringing in a new one.
So what happened with that?
It was just one of those things. They run their course. It was somebody like yourself that came in as a promoter, and they ran a few shows. I don't even remember it being that big, or that many of them. So the fact that you got people coming up to you saying,
I guess it left an impression.
"Hey, what was going on?" I think it was just a fun thing. It was like when we did them at the festivals and stuff like that, which I know you were involved with, and watching DiPaolo up there getting his butt kicked trying to wrestle was hilarious.
Oh man, he almost had a real fight on his hands. He got in the ring. He got in the ring with a microphone, and he just told the audience, like, this is going to be real, not like everybody faking it that's been in the ring before. And I was like, oh, man, don't say that.
Yeah, no.
When I have a tent full of real professional wrestlers, get out of here quick. He came back and apologized profusely. But I was, so we kind of got off of that. But speaking of big acts, I've been told to ask you about this. You have, by somebody who I'm not going to say his name again because we've given him too much airtime.
You're damn right.
And if he wants more, he's going to have to pay us per name drop.
Mm-hmm.
You have a push to get more big acts, or you want a big national country act? I believe that's what I was told. I'm
open. Country's a great market. It's a great festival market. It really is. If you look at a lot of the festivals that are going on, a lot of them key in on country acts, or at least one or two of them through the week. Yes, I have an opinion. I have a position, that I would like to see a larger act at one of the festivals, if not both. We have dabbled in it in the past. One of the problems that we have with it, and I'm going to play devil's advocate for myself here. One of the problems that we do have with it is that it's a weather-dependent show. So without a big tent or without something like that for shelter, we can lose some on that. And so that part, can be problematic. However, with the right planning, the right finances in place, I still am going to continue to push for us to lobby and to be able to get a bigger act in Misquamicut. I want to see, that, how can I put it? Not a national, but like a just past national act. Mm-hmm. So somebody that everybody knows, somebody from the 80s, somebody from the 90s even, or even a startup act. There was a story that came out about one of the country acts. They booked in to one of the festivals that was out there. They kept it. They had a single that came out. Their single skyrocketed. They were suddenly doing stadium shows. They still went back into this mom and pop festival because they still had the thing.
Yeah.
These guys got lucky. They could have canceled. They're like, no, these guys gave us a shot. They were going to book us when we weren't anybody. They gave them a shot. We've had a lot of startup acts like that in Misquamicut. Somebody else had mentioned a lot of the older acts that were down here in his. So I'm not going to go through that. But a lot of acts started down here.
Right. And there's a lot of great acts now that come to the festival.
There are.
There are fantastic acts that come to the festival now, and there's great local acts, and there's great acts of yesteryear. But to have that big name value would, essentially you would assume would almost pay for itself if the circumstances were right.
Yes, I agree. We need to put that bigger act in place to be able to. If you don't have the bigger act, you don't have the draw. With a little act, you're not going to get the draw. You're going to get the same people that are going to show up. So for us to be able to put a larger act in there in place and be able to have somebody come down with a bigger name, is going to draw more people to the festival. That in turn is going to draw more people to the restaurants, the bars, the hotels, and those things that are in the area. So if you put an act in that's going to draw, 8,000, 9,000 people, 10,000 people, that's a big bonus. For a festival that's drawing, really well, and it's been going on for a long time now, having that economic push is still big. Now, it's just trying to get that, it's trying to get that money together. So if you're a company who wants to sponsor a big act, let us know, because we're still looking in that range, and that's something that we're really trying to push for.
I'm excited about that. I think that it's something that's going to happen. I don't see how.
I'm glad you have faith.
I don't see how it's not going to happen. I don't see how everybody doesn't say, all right, let's put this idea to the test. Let's try it once.
It's the money.
Let's do the gamble. Money can be found.
It can be.
Money can be found.
It's not so much the full spectrum of the money.
Right.
It's that we don't have it in the middle of winter as the MBA to pay, to put off a big down payment.
Right.
We're talking bigger acts. We're talking acts that are not $5,000, $6,000, $8,000. We're talking acts that are $50,000, $60,000, $70,000
Yeah.
acts. That's a big chunk. It's a big chunk to put out there for one night.
Definitely.
But I really think that, even that being said, I'm here to believe that we need to have that type of an act. We need to have that type of a push. And that's something that the MBA, I think, I've been pushing for, and, has gained a little bit of traction, but is a hard sell.
And I think that it's something that, like you just said, in the dead of winter, when it's the slow time for the MBA, there isn't that money to put as a down payment for the act right now. So it's something that would take planning and time, and not going to happen in 2018.
No, it's not happening this year, guys. Sorry.
But I do think that it will happen, and I think that it could happen sooner.
Ben off camera said he was going to sponsor a whole bunch of money.
I did.
He did.
I did.
He said he had this big national wrestling thing or something
tell
going
your
on.
friends,
I don't know,
I don't-
but he said he was going to do something, and he said he had a whole lot of money he was going to put towards this.
I don't know why I brought it up. If no one could ever associate my name with Wrestling Weekend, that would be fine with me. I'm proud of everything.
See, I would have let it all go.
I'm proud of
You
everything.
brought it up again.
I'm proud of everything that we did, but no, I think that it's definitely possible. And I think that it's going to happen. What would you say is if you have one project that the MBA is doing right now that you really want to advertise, you really want to publicize right now, whether it's, cleaning up the beaches or the bike paths, I think Caswell was talking about. I said his name.
There is, I know you did.
What's the one initiative that you guys are pushing for right now that you'd like to end on?
We're still pushing on the festivals. That's really still our biggest thing, because that's such a great, revenue generating for the entire area, and it's just great for the town. It's great for the people that are here. It brings a lot of people to Misquamicut overall. It helps us on our shoulder seasons, meaning that spring and fall, it helps to draw to Misquamicut. So that's really still a big one for us. We've got a Misquapoly. Yeah, that's a weird word. A Misquapoly game, which is a Misquamicut Opoly game. So we have that, and that's going to
Look on your face.
Sorry. It's just a weird name. It makes perfect sense, but when you put it out loud, it's like Misquapoly. Huh? So we got that coming out, and that's coming together really well. All the businesses got together, Misquamicut, and Tim from Two Fish helped spearhead all of that, so that was been great. We have the drive-ins coming up. We've got so many different events that are on the board that we work so hard for. But I still think the festival is really still our biggest push in that respect.
Awesome. Well, we are going to have a lot of conversations with people leading up to the festivals, which are the second weekend in May.
Mother's Day weekend, yeah.
Okay, so Mother's Day weekend, and then obviously you have the busy season, and then you have the fall festival in September to close it out.
Yeah.
Will you do me a favor?
Sure.
Will you come back on in the fall when everything slows down and
I'll
talk
do you
to
one
me
better.
again?
I'll do you one in the fall, and I'll even make you come down to me.
All right.
We'll sit out on the patio, in a little quieter spot. But we'll sit out on the patio and we'll actually describe in one of these what it is that we're looking at, and we'll take a look at the bar, we'll take a look at the people, and we'll kind of do an overview of Misquamicut at that point in time.
That's awesome.
I'll even take time out of my day to do that for you one day during the summer. Mainly, but you got to promise me one thing.
All
You
right.
put on a whole lot of sunscreen, dude, because I think you're going to burst into flame.
I am very, very pale. I am
Yes.
translucently pale. Yeah.
We have a white table in front of us, and I don't know which is glowing more here.
It's true.
I've had sunglasses on for the entire thing because he's just this white.
I am very, very white. I get a little bit darker in the summer.
Okay, but
little bit.
sunscreen, dude, because
Yeah.
I don't want to see you burst into flame out there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
My dermatologist appreciates. Thank you very much. Awesome interview. Everybody check out the MBA at misquamicut.org. Check out the Windjammer and
check out
Atlantic
Windjammer
Beach Park.
Surf Bar, Atlantic Beach Park. Both of them are on Facebook and the web in general.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
For more information on the events and businesses of Misquamicut Beach, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and at misquamicut.org.